The husband says, I've suspected my wife is cheating on me for a while. She walks very differently and always makes up an excuse to leave the house, and that at any time. Today I plucked up the courage and decided to follow her. She told me she would go to a friend's house, but then I found out that she was going to the mall, and she was all smiles, and the whole time looking on her cell phone. She crossed the whole mall, and she's going to the parking lot, and I can't believe, my God, she got in her car of another man, and how she can do this to me. A few hours later Tamara arrives, and says, Hi love, how are you? He pushes her, and she asks, What is this? Why are you looking at our wedding album? Well, this time was so beautiful, I miss you, and he says, Actually I'm trying to understand, and she asks what? He says, Where did I go wrong? And she says, What do you mean? You're a perfect husband and you didn't make a mistake, and he says, If I didn't make a mistake, you made a mistake. She says, What kind of talk is this, love? What is it? Paolo asked, Where were you? Tamara replied, I wasn't anywhere, and again, he asks, Where have you been all this time? She says, I went to the mall to buy clothes for myself, but I ended up not buying anything. I didn't find anything nice, and he says, Didn't you find anyone there that was different? She replied, I don't think so. Paolo says, And you were at the mall the whole time? She says, Yes baby, why are you saying that? Paolo says, They told me they saw you getting into a car, and Tamara says, Okay, honey, do you want me to tell you the truth? You're fighting with my brother. He called me and told me he missed me, and I went there to meet him, and Paolo said, Your brother? So whoever saw you getting in the car didn't see it was your brother? What if I told you that I saw you, that I followed you to the mall, and I saw you using your cell phone and giggling? I followed you to the parking lot, and I saw the person who was in the car, and it wasn't yours brother, and Tamara says, You must have seen it wrong, and Paolo says, I want you to tell me the truth. Tamara says, Are you going to throw 10 years of marriage in the trash? Look at this album, and Paolo says, Why in the trash? I want to hear it from her mouth, and she says, I didn't do anything, and Paolo said, Tamara, I saw you getting into another man's car and leaving, and Tamara said, Okay, I'll be cheating on you, yes, you don't stop at home anymore, just stay. I work, I leave early, I only come back late. But the problem is that you don't pay attention to me, and Paolo says, You're a coward, and if that were all true, you'd have to approach me and say everything you were feeling and not betray me with the first without shame. And she says, Love does not go away. Tamara goes to the bedroom and says, Love, what are you doing? He says, I'm leaving, and she says, You're not leaving here for that, and he screams, Go stay with your lover. Tamara says, Please don't do that, I love you, and he says, I'll get the rest of my things later, and he says, Go stay with your lover, and Tamara says, I love you, Paolo. And he says, No you don't, you just love yourself, and she says, I can't believe you're going to throw 10 years of marriage in the trash, you don't leave, and Paolo says, Later, I'll send someone to come get the rest of mine things, and she says, Please don't do that.